Please, everyone keep up the great work. I also want to recognize, some of the folks. I'm sorry if I'm, repeating the names, but really, bears mentioning. Of course, Carmen and Liz, as we've mentioned. But I also want to recognize Jennifer Hawkins. Appreciate everything that you do in One Neighborhood Builders and throughout the neighborhood. It is really, really a place that is transforming by our very eyes, right? This whole Olneyville neighborhood is an overnight success, 20, 30 years in the making. And there's been people pounding away, along with One Neighborhood Builders doing it for a long time. I see a good friend, Pandy, on the workforce side. Melba De Pena, leader at the state level, Doris De Los Santos, Doris Blanchard, a lot of just amazing, strong women that are moving this work forward. And I'll come back to that in a second, as I think about strong woman in my life that is an inspiration for a lot of the work that I do on small businesses. I want to recognize Oscar Mejias from the Chamber, and great to have Rhode Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I apologize if I'm leaving anyone out. Marta Perez Barton from the Chamber as well. Hey Marta, it's great to see you. And congratulations to the folks here at Innovation Studios. I look forward to referring folks over here and working and partnering with you to move this work forward. So a couple of things. I mentioned strong woman in my life, and my inspiration is my mom. Remember when we opened this space, I spoke about my mom. My mom worked second shift her entire life. To this day, my mother works second shift in a factory. During the weekdays, she would get up early the next morning after working second shift, and she'd run a daycare center out of our second floor apartment. So that was exhausting, but she'd make it to work at 3:30 every day. On the weekends, there was no stopping. There was house chores. We would also go around the neighborhood on Saturdays. We'd pick up empty bottles and cans. We'd take them to recycling centers for the 5 or 10 cent deposits. On Sundays, again, no rest. We'd go to flea markets. My mother would buy curtains and blankets, and then we would drive around the neighborhood selling them. And so my mother never called herself an entrepreneur, never thought of herself as a businesswoman, but absolutely, my mother was a hustler, right? She was an entrepreneur in the purest sense of the word. But unfortunately, for one reason or another, my mother was never connected with an organization or a group like this that can help take that energy and that talent, that passion that she had, and transform it into a business that would sustain itself. And so when I think about the work that you all do, there is no shortage of entrepreneurial energy in our community. And this is the support and that additional boost, sort of that wind at their sails that they need to really, really get up to speed. When we talk about the immigrant community, Liz, you said, 65% of this community is immigrant or
Spanish speaking,
or is Spanish speaking. So probably more than that is immigrant. I think about the way that I heard it said once a long time ago. It said, if any of you travel to a developing country, no sooner do you get off the airplane and leave the airport, and there is someone trying to sell you something, right? That is entrepreneurship, and that spirit is embedded really deep into the culture, and immigrants bring that here. And so if we don't turn that immigrant energy and entrepreneurial spirit into businesses that will sustain the community, then shame on us. But if we do, and when we do, then the future really bodes bright for our community. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and I certainly look forward to continuing to partner in any way that I can. The last thing that I'll say, just very, very briefly, is we talk about small businesses a lot, and we should talk about small businesses. But I think about micro businesses and micro enterprises as well. It was only in the 1950s when the Small Business Administration was founded. Back then, before then, we didn't talk about small and large businesses. We just talked about the business community. But beginning in the 30s, 40s, and then certainly in the 50s, this distinction between large business and small business took hold. Well, a lot of the work that we've been doing in the city lately, under our economic development director, Keith Stokes, is breaking small businesses down into micro businesses and small businesses as well. Because micro businesses are very much distinct from small businesses. Sometimes it's not a business that's supposed to pay for all of the expenses. It's an enhancement to the revenue that you make from another job. And what we're learning is that folks need things such as technical assistance, they need support with shared marketing. But the point that I wanted to make today is that there are a number of micro businesses in our community. They have distinct needs from small businesses, and we want to make sure that we meet those needs directly. And the last point on this is, in terms of young entrepreneurs, 2/3 of young entrepreneurs opened their micro businesses since 2020. So this is something that's happening right along with this great resignation. Now, people are looking for something else. They have their side hustles that are turning into something more permanent. And so it's the direction that folks are moving in. And we know that Black and brown and women businesses are more likely to be micro businesses than small businesses or large businesses. So we look forward to being thought partners and finding ways that we can support this community. So thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to the work.